Hey guys, and welcome to a replay analysis. And today we're doing a PvP with Dingles and Apple. I wonder if he has eye probes. Okay. We're looking at Dingle's perspective for this one today. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what's going on, dude. And this is a diamond level game as well. Diamond level. Diamond level. Alright, dude. So we got our, first of all, you fucked up already. I'm just joking. A lot of times I'm actually being serious when I say that about somebody, but you're fine so far. Nothing is wrong. Damn it. Okay. Now here's a real thing. This is my opinion, okay? This is my opinion of PvP. If you are confident about defending cannon rushes, I think you are scouting too early. If, however, you are kind of like not sure about how well cannon rushes will go and you really want to make sure you see that forge, I'm not going to say I disagree with your scout. Personally, I don't scout until after I build the cyber core. The reason why is because nothing is relevant except for cannon rushes until that point. And what I usually will do as well is I will you just want to, like, when you build your second gateway, when you build your, if you do a 2 gateway opener, which you might be doing, if you build your second gateway and you don't see a pylon like within range of your base already, you can walk your probe down right here just for a second and you can see if there's proxy pylon, like maybe like right there, and he's about to build a cannon right there with that pylon or something like that. And maybe he's going to build like a cannon there and a cannon there and a cannon there or whatever. You know what I mean? But basically, your second gateway, when you if you do make a second gateway, that is guaranteed going to be, like, if you then run down your ramp, just for this area right here, that would be as soon as his pylon is almost done. If he builds it far away, and if he builds it close, you would see it with your building gateway, because your gateway would see it as if it was built like right there, for instance, you'd see it if it's like super in your face. And your gateway would also spot him guaranteed before he gets across the map if he wants to run in your base and go over here or something. Just throwing it out there. Like, I personally, I don't feel that. Cannon rush is annoying. It's super annoying. It is fucking annoying, but it's not like, it's more manageable than you might think. And again, this scout is only for cannon rush. If you're scouting for standard Protoss play, your probe is going to be sitting in his base for such a long time. What's up, Larissa? What's up? Hello. So, we'll see what you do. Also, be very if you're not gonna go one get expand, if you're gonna go double gas, we'll see what you do. But if you go double gas, you should be double chrono boosting your nexus like right away, immediately. Double chrono. So if you do take a double gas before you take a natural, this is incorrect. Yeah. So you're taking 2 gateways. You should be double chrono boosting like right away. The reason why is because you can saturate. So like 1 chrono boost is correct for one gate nexus. You can't afford all the probes if you go nexus early like that, and then you go back to chronoing after your second pylon. That's more of a standard build versus like Zerg and Terran. But if you go PvP style double gate, you want both of your gases filled as fast as possible, because your natural is going to be delayed anyways by a little bit if you even go for one at all. So this allows you to have way more power going into the early game with tech, whether it be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't matter what tech it is. All techs are viable. But yeah, you want to definitely double chrono boost so you can have a fully fast double gas saturation. Fully saturated double gas super fast. Are you playing the matchup wrong? If you don't double chrono boost your nexus, yes, you're playing it wrong. If you go double gate, you double chrono boost your nexus. Because your gas saturates super slow then. Here's an indicator to know if your build is correct. So first of all, your core is placed well. Okay, so your gateway, your pylon was placed fine. your gateway was placed fine, and your cyber core is also placed fine. Your timings of your tech is fine so far. And that this is good because this is now a real indicator as to where you're going to be. And if you do not have about 160 gas when your core finishes, every bit of gas that you're behind that is how far behind you are. There is no reason to not have that much gas. You should have enough gas to, if you wanted to make a Stalker, a Sentry, and a Warp Gate upgrade. Or immediately start a Stargate. If you want to go for a... Like, you're probably not going to do that because you're going double gate. Usually if you go Stargate, you go single gateway. But you get the point. Like, we're talking like a really fast Stargate. But you can still go double gate Stargate. That is still a thing. It's just... You're not going to prioritize the Stargate before Warp Gate. Don't be confused. Don't get confused. You can still go Stargate with double gateway. I'm talking about if you're the kind of guy that literally skips everything and just rushes the Stargate. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of a player is usually a one gateway expansion player who then just rushes a Stargate. If you're going to actually make Adepts or you're actually going to make Stalkers or whatever, that is double gateway and you can still go Stargate with that. It's just not a priority of Stargate. Stargate comes a little later is all it is. So you would still get Warp Gate. You would still get your gateways. You're not going to make double gateway and then just stop making everything and just make a Stargate. Makes no sense. But watch, like I said before, 160 gas is what you should have when your core is done. 160. And if you don't, it's because you didn't chrono boost your Nexus twice and you delayed your gas too long. Your core finishes at 128. So, you're officially 32 gas behind. So, it might not sound like the end of the world, but 32 gas, mining out of 1 gas, I would guess is like 12 seconds. Roughly. Or like 10 to 12 seconds, somewhere around there would be my guess for 32 gas. So like you're just the point is there's no reason to have like now see how you're chrono boosting your Nexus a second time. If you're gonna go, because here's the thing I want you to understand. If you don't need to save 400 minerals for the Nexus, which is the build order of gateway or a pylon, gateway, gas, Nexus, core, gas, pylon. If you're not doing that build, you're going to make a second pylon easily before you supply block, because now your build is pylon, gateway, gateway, or it's really pylon, gateway, gas, gateway, core, gas, pylon. But all these buildings happen faster now. Like you can make all the gases and the pylons faster because you're not saving 400 minerals for the Nexus. You're saving resources for the or your resources can instead go into faster pylons to then also make faster probes, which means you can chrono boost multiple times. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And what does the second chrono boost give you? It gives you a faster gas. So your gas is behind and your minerals are pretty much where they should be. Also, if you're going to go Stargate, don't go Sentry. Do not go Sentry if you're going to go Stargate. Sentry is paired better with other techs, essentially. It's paired better with Robo or Council. It's honestly paired best with Robo, in my opinion. But it still does okay with Council because it gives you the ability to scout. But if you're going to go Stargate, it makes no sense to go Sentry because the Stargate is going to indirectly scout your opponent while it harasses your opponent. And it delays your Stargate by a lot because it's fucking expensive on gas. If you go Robo and if you go Council, you don't have any means to get in their base right away, as opposed to Stargate. So, yeah. It makes sense to go Robo Council with Sentry. It does not make sense to go Sentry with Stargate. You should be making a Stalker or an Adept. Adepts pair better with... Adepts would pair better with Oracles, and I would say Stalkers would pair better with Phoenix or Void Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Lizard Fizz, thank you very much for the 6-month resub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome back. When do we build our second gas? You build your second gas while you're saturating your first gas. When your first gas has like 1 probe on it and your mineral line's 16 out of 16, you build your second gas. You build your second gas like right before you build your core. Or right as you build your core. Either way works. But you want basically you want your Nexus to be chrono boosted twice in a row. And if you're building it perfectly, you want it to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 out of the Nexus. And it like actually saturates the buildings. You don't want it to be 1, 2, 3, and then 1 sitting there, 2 sitting there, and then the third probe finally arrives, and now suddenly the gas is open to mine. It means you built your gas way too fucking late. Also, if you make a... Here's another thing. If you make a sentry, you have to make a battery the second your pylon's done at your natural. You have to, if you're going to expand. The reason why you have to is because right now, the way you're moving your units around and just the fact that you have a stalker and a sentry, if your opponent opened up with double stalker, you'd be dead right now. You would take so much damage right now, you would get so fucked up. Because there's 2 things you did here that are scary. Number 1 is you made a stalker and a sentry, and that is weak versus double stalker. Stalkers kill stalkers very fast, and now if you have 2 stalkers versus 1 stalker, that's scary. And stalkers also kill sentries really fast. Now here's the second thing that's scary. Your sentry and stalker popped out a few seconds ago. Like, the sentry's it's already down here, and your gateway's over here. This thing popped out probably 8 seconds ago. Or something, or like 9 seconds ago. We could literally go see it, but it's been out for a little while. This stalker popped out probably 3 seconds ago. 2 seconds ago. But my point I'm trying to make here is you go for a Nexus, which I'm not going to say is bad. I do this myself. It's greedy. You go for a Nexus before you make your pylon, and which is also in turn means before you make your next round of units, because you will supply block. So now you're not only going for a sentry and a stalker, but you're also delaying units 3 and 4 by a long time. Also, you never started warp gate. But you're delaying units 3 and 4 by a very long time. And that's fucking scary, because if this dude were to make 2 stalkers, he would guaranteed either fuck your stalker up while you ran away, or maybe kill it if you mismicroed at all. And he would probably kill your sentry, or force a force field, and like maybe force field the bottom of his ramp or whatever. Or yeah, of your ramp. Make you force field your ramp. The other thing he would do is if he was actually not prioritizing a Nexus, and he made stalkers 3 and 4 really fast, he would get to your base and have 4 stalkers while you still only had a sentry and a stalker with the way your build's going. If, like, could say he chrono boosted his stalkers out and was going fucking fast. The point is this is way too scary. It's way too risky. If you make a sentry, you have to make a battery, and if you also prioritize a Nexus on top of that before making units 3 and 4, you have to make a battery. You will die otherwise. Excuse me. I could just see you dying to a Master's Protoss right now easily if they just felt like pressuring you. Anyone who opens up double stalker will kill you. All right, so let's back it up. I just wanted to see if you saw what his tech was. It was a gateway. So this is, you know, like, so keep in mind, yeah, like you have to make a battery if you're going to play risky like this. Your build has a lot of holes in it. Your Stargate timing is fine. I don't mind it. Overall, your timings and everything is not the biggest deal. And your order of everything is get your gas faster. And that's the main thing you could fix. But you really need to make that battery, as we said before, for many reasons. But now, let's see how you deal with adepts.
Just get into Plat 3 thanks to your vids.
Thank you very much, Mr. Furcho. Thank you so much for the dono, man. Congrats on the promo. Hell yeah. Okay, so I would highly recommend you leave a probe at your doorway. You had it there a second ago, then you built a pylon, and then now it's over here. Those two adepts fuck you up, so we'll see what happens. And also, you know, like, if we really paid attention to when the probe scouted your base, who knows? Maybe there's a pylon in your base. We could go back and look at it again. Did this guy even, hold on, did this guy even scout you for real? Yes, he did. Just to make, I was just making sure, but we'll see. I just wanted to see how those adepts got in your base. But definitely you want to have a probe sitting there for now if you're feeling unsafe about the, you know, pressure opener. And there you go. We have, he's poking your front door. You're in the middle of transferring your probes. You have to be very careful. This is the thing about PvP. This is why, if you're ever wondered why, ViBE, why do people put gateways at the ramp like this? Why does that happen? The reason why that happens is because of that. If this unit did not exist, there would be, there is still a reason against Cannon Rush as well to do this, but units wise, this is the only unit that makes you have to do this. An Adept. An Adept is the sole reason why you have to wall your fucking ramp. And the second you see these two Adept shades coming at your base like this, you really need, I would say you needed, like, so this probe's out of position still. This probe needs to right now build a shield battery right there. Fucking right now. And it would lock all these probes into your natural, which is fine. All that would happen is you could run your probes away from the Adepts, like run up and around if you have to. Meanwhile, your Stalkers could kill the Adepts. A Stalker runs faster than an Adept, and a Adept has a 3.5 move speed, and a probe has a 3.94 move speed. So a probe will slowly outrun an Adept. So, like, if his shades get on top of your probes, he might kill, like, 2 probes as you run away from him, and then suddenly he's just going to be chasing you. And if he chased you from, like, if he shaded, like, right here and chased you all the way up to the top, you would probably kill both Adepts before he gets to your probes. Or, if at the very least, with 3 Stalkers in a sentry, you'd kill 1 Adept, and maybe by the time he got to your probes, 1 Adept would be, like, no shields, and it would still have HP. You have, like, maybe shot it once. Or whatever. The point is these probes would be easy to save because you would restrict the movement of the Adept. If you don't restrict the movement of the Adept and you let them just fucking run into your main base, you're going to be chasing them all day because an Adept shade is much faster than everything else right now. It literally runs faster than everything you have. It runs faster than a probe. It runs faster than a Stalker. It runs faster than a sentry. So what's going to happen is his shade's going to go into your main base and you're going to chase him into it. He's going to kill your probes. And as he's killing your probes and you're chasing him into it, he's going to shade again to your natural and keep killing your probes and probably run away as he kills your, like, run away from your Stalkers as he kills more probes. And then suddenly, if you don't chase the shades, he's going to now shade into your natural and do the same thing. And it just becomes a fucking problem. You have to restrict the movement speed, the movement of these. If this does not happen, you take serious damage. Like, you just get fucking owned. It's awful if you let that happen. Oh, you tried, but you fucked it up. So I understand. At least you tried. You understand. You tried. But yeah, obviously it's down. It's too far down by 1, so there's a corner gap here. It should have been up by 1. And that's why, you know what you should do if you don't do it already? I don't know if this probe is the probe you have hotkeyed, but whatever probe you have hotkeyed in the early game when this is actually a problem, you should have that probe always sitting right there. Just do it for now. Once you get better at the game, you can, like, kind of, like, predict what's going to happen better and deal with it better. But for now, have the probe you have hotkeyed sitting right there the whole time, and you can just build, like, you can just double tap the hotkey. If you see Adepts in the front of your base with your Stalkers the way they're set up, and you can double tap the hotkey, build a shield battery. Easy peasy. There's also the fact that you have, and here's another thing. The fact that your units are this spread out, I don't understand that at all. Like, your sentry's not helping. Your 3rd Stalker is not helping. One of your Stalkers is shooting one of his Stalkers, and one of your Stalkers is shooting one of his Stalkers. Whereas both of his Stalkers are shooting your 1 Stalker. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. If all of your units are together in front of the ramp, that's totally fine. Because if you have the probe hotkeyed, you could just build the battery, and now your Stalkers could easily get over here. If his Adept shades run into the ramp and go, oh, it's blocked, and then he doesn't cancel it and he turns around, your Stalkers will easily catch his Adepts. But the fact that your units are spread out like this is, and they're also not even hotkeyed, is not ideal. Like this, I'm gonna let you know a secret right now. This is how unforgiving PvP is. I honestly think you already lost the game. That's dead serious. This is not like, oh, it's just a little bit of damage. You've like already lost the game. If this happens, this fucking sucks. You cannot, like, this is game-ending damage right here already. It really is. Like, if this guy micros his adepts like shit from this point on, obviously that's better for you. But if this guy kills like 7 probes right now, which he totally could, that is like unrecoverable damage that if your opponent is good, he will always win from there. It is so hard to recover from shit like this. He's hitting the Nexus now, so obviously, thank God, right? And he's hitting your Stalker now. There we go. He hits a probe, but like he wasted like 5 hits on your Nexus. He didn't kill that probe when he wasted a shot on it, and he wasted a shot on your Stalker over here. So he definitely didn't micro that as well as he could have. But still, how many probes did he kill? Even with that being said, he still killed 6. He could have honestly killed like 9. Probably, like, realistically, he could have killed probably like 9 probes. And you know what he really could have done too? That would have been really fucking annoying. You know what he could have done that would have been really annoying? If he actually microed his adepts and didn't just hit the Nexus while you were hitting him, he could have shaded to your natural, canceled it because you reacted with most of your units to go there, and you only have 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry defending your main base still. He could have killed all the probes on your gas, and then because he killed nothing at your natural, so he could have killed a 7th probe, and then he could have killed your Sentry. That would have been an amazing trade for him if he would have done that. And then he could have casted another Shade, because the 1 Stalker is not going to kill 2 Adepts in that amount of time. You might kill 1 of his Adepts in that amount of time, but then he could have shaded to your natural and maybe killed 1 final probe. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, there's definitely a mismicro by your opponent there, but even with him not even microing the best, you still took ridiculous damage there. Fucking ridiculous damage. Also, there are other builds that are better if you want to just straight up open Phoenix. Like 1 gate expand into a Robo into a Stargate. That build is better if you just want to straight up open Phoenix. Opening Phoenix like this is not good. This is actually very bad. You can still go Phoenix in PvP, but if you want to open Phoenix in PvP, you should do it differently. The way you've done your build, where you've done a double gate opener, it's just like honestly, like, there's so many things to say right now about what I think here, because I don't want you to get the wrong idea about things like this. Let me say it like this. There is no one build that always wins in StarCraft 2, first of all. So, like, there is no one build that's like, oh, well, this build is the best. So, for instance, how I just said you should go 1 gate Robo, or like 1 gate expand into Robo Stargate and make Immortal Phoenix. I do think that build would be better than going for Stalker Phoenix in general, overall. But if you're playing against somebody who's also going Stargate, now suddenly I also once again agree that Stalker Phoenix is now better because he has a Stargate. And if, let's say, he went double Stargate and you went single Stargate and you went Immortals and Phoenix and he just went pure Phoenix, you would lose. But going for a double gate Stargate and then going Phoenix first feels super weak unless you defend perfectly. And you already have not defended perfectly, so now still going for a Phoenix is guaranteeing that you're just behind. The point I'm trying to make here is I would actually have rather have seen you have gone for a Oracle. Like, I actually think if you go double Gateway into a Stargate, it is better to go for a opener of Adept Oracle than it is to go for an opener of Stalker Phoenix. If you go double Gateway Stargate, just in general, it's better. And then you, after like 1 Oracle, you could then go into Phoenix. The reason why is because you just took a fuckload of damage to your economy. And you're not going to do any to his. You're going to do 0 damage to his. So you're playing from a behind position right now, and it's going to stay that way forever. And that is not a great way to play StarCraft 2. Don't go one get expand. Don't go one get. Don't go one get expand. Don't do it. It's fucking hard. This is really hard to teach you right now because this is shit that's not diamond level. It really isn't. Like the way he microed his adepts. I'm just gonna throw this out there, okay? I just gotta say this really fast. I don't want to discourage you from going Stargate builds, but I think Stargate is not for diamond. First of all, that's a fact. I think Stargate builds who don't know how to, like, players who do Stargate builds who don't have pristine micro are fucking easy to beat. I do think if you play, like, if you had like 2 versions of yourself where one version was going Stargate and one version was just going Robo Stalker, the version who goes Robo Stalker would win every time. I'll just throw it out there and say that. But we'll keep going. I'll keep talking about Stargate. I think your build sucks dick though right now, honestly, because it just makes no sense now. Because you're behind and you're gonna stay behind forever. You're going to just stay behind. The fact that you actually are ahead in supply is only happening because you just killed his 2 adepts, and this guy's macro also sucks dick. This is also what happens when you get players who are diamond trying to go for constant pressure. They don't fucking macro very well. Like, this is a very advanced micro build. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens now. Again, I don't want to discourage you, but I just feel like this build is it's just gonna fall apart. So we'll talk about what you should do now with what you've chosen to do, okay? Like, there's always a way to use what you have. If you're gonna go for a Phoenix first, what I think you should do now is you should scout his base. Like, first of all, you should, like, you scouted he already had a Stargate, so you should first of all defend whatever the fuck that is. But you should scout his base with your Sentry, definitely not your Phoenix. Why? Because you don't know how committed this dude is to Stargate. You don't know how committed he is going to be to this and what he's going to make exactly. But for instance, what if this, since he opened up Adepts are cheaper than Stalkers. Adepts allow you to make other buildings. Like, for instance, he could make a second Stargate. The fact that he fucking built his buildings like that kind of proves that he has a very limited Stalker emphasis. I don't think this guy gives a shit about Stalkers. This is a awful doorway. Stalkers can't fit through that. They can't. A Zealot could, an Adept could, a Probe could. A Stalker cannot fit through that. It's too fat. So if you attacked his base with Phoenix, and you, like, Oracles, whatever, and you picked up his probes or killed his probes, what the fuck would he make Stalkers for? Because he couldn't defend his main base. So it makes me feel like he's going to go Phoenix and use that to be his anti-air or Voids or some shit. Like, if he goes Stalkers, this guy is clueless about how he built his base. And it's also if you don't punish him for that, it's a missed opportunity. That's why you should scout him. Because if you did scout him and you were like, nice fucking base, wow, you're making Stalkers, I'm going to kill all your probes then. The only way he could defend his base is if he recalled Stalkers from out here to inside and then killed his gateway to get back outside. They can't fit through that. So, first of all, again, what I think you should be doing right now. What I'm trying to help you here, okay? I love you, Dingles. This build is I don't want to make it negative. This build is driving me crazy though. For both of you. What I think you should do is scout his base with a Sentry. Okay? See what he's doing so you can react in an intelligent way, ideally. It'll give you ideas about what you should be doing. Like, for instance, should you take another Stargate right now and go for more Phoenix right now? Should you take fucking Robo right now and add in Immortals to your Phoenix or and Stalker or whatever based on what he's doing? Should you go for a fast third base right now? Like, what should you do based off of what you see? And if you don't see anything, well, that's a problem. Now, secondly, the second thing you should do after behind scouting with your sentry, which you have enough energy for, you should defend your base because you did see he had an oracle opener, so you should leave units in your mineral lines to defend potential pressure like this so that you don't get fucked up by it. So the fact that you have 3 stalkers in your natural and the fact that you have a phoenix down here to zone out an oracle and you have a stalker and a sentry in your mineral line here, it's okay. I'm glad you're covering the mineral lines. I'll say that. It's good that you're covering the mineral lines. Now look at him. He's like over here being a derp. This phoenix should immediately be good. It is. It should be immediately coming over to stop the phoenix now, or to stop the oracle, because the phoenix is faster than an oracle, so it will guaranteed kill it. Now it will die because you pulled over the other phoenix. If you didn't pull that phoenix, it would not have died. And now you need to be scared. Do not fucking attack him with phoenix. Do not do that. If you do, what you do when you do that is you give him defender's advantage, which means you give him more time to have his units in the fight that be built to be in the fight, and yours, like for instance, your third phoenix is not gonna finish and teleport to his base. It's gonna finish and have to cross the whole map. And so you crossing the map, if you do with these 2 phoenix, you open yourself up to a chance of you running into his phoenix, and if you do that, a phoenix can shoot while moving. So if he has 2 phoenix and you have 2 phoenix, but then let's say you run into like a shield battery and your damage does nothing, or you run into like his, maybe he has like a stalker or something over there and he just peppers on a little bit of extra damage, he will kill your phoenix. And if you lose the air control, it's really hard to gain it back. But again, you should be scouting, so thank God you do scout. Good. I'm glad. Thank God. Good shit. Good shit. Keep making probes. Keep making phoenix. 100%. You should be getting this upgrade too. Get weapon upgrade like right now. If you're gonna go phoenix, this is mandatory. Why is it mandatory? If you don't have it, if someone stalker pushes you, you have a much higher chance of dying. That upgrade makes your phoenix much more valuable against stalkers when you pick them up and kill them at a faster pace. It means you can it means you can pick them up quicker and you can eliminate more stalker DPS faster by literally lifting it, and you don't waste your lifts. You actually kill them faster through your damage upgrade. It also makes Phoenix versus Phoenix a little bit better because your Phoenix gain 4 damage, or just kidding, 2 damage. It's just 2 damage per upgrade because it's 2 attacks, but they just gain more damage essentially. It just makes Phoenix kill Phoenix a little bit faster. There is going to definitely be a lot of overkill in Phoenix, so that's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is definitely killing ground units with it. It's killing ground units for sure. There's a ton of overkill in Phoenix versus Phoenix once you have a lot of Phoenix. The upgrade that's more important in Phoenix versus Phoenix is actually the range upgrade. Okay, this council makes no sense. What the fuck is that council? That makes 0 sense right now. So we've got a battery, a forge, a robo. This makes more sense. A robo behind it if you're not going to go mass Stargate. But here's the thing. You know what you should do right now? He's making Phoenix. He's making Stalkers. And see what I mean? Like you could already assume he's going to make... You could already assume he's going to make Phoenix with how he built his gateways. The fact that he's making Stalkers, these could still be the same Stalkers from earlier on, which they are. These are Stalkers that are about dead. Those are the Stalkers that he made right off the bat when he poked your base. But you just saw a Robo, a Stargate, and Stalkers. The Stalkers show you nothing because you've already seen them before, but you saw a Stargate, a Robo, and double Phoenix. A great response to this, honestly, would be, how about I just make a second Stargate? And a third base. I'm glad you're making a third. That's good. But a second Stargate would fuck this guy up. What can Immortals do to a... Like, if you have just, like, double his Phoenix, you will kill his Phoenix. And if it's like, let's say you have 15, or like 16 versus his 8. It's not going to be like, you have 16, he has 8, and then you guys fight, and now you have 8 and he has 0. That's not how it's going to go. If you have a 16 Phoenix, and he has like 8 Phoenix, you're going to kill all 8 of his Phoenix, you're going to lose like 2. Because you have so much DPS there that you're going to kill his shit so fast. So his Phoenix don't have DPS up for very long. That is how it will go. So it'll be 16 versus 8, now suddenly you have 14 left over. And with your 14 Phoenix left over, you could easily pick up Stalker, 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 Immortal, 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 Stalker, Stalker. Phoenix can kill every single unit out of Robo. Do you want to know why? It's obvious why, but a Phoenix can pick up an Immortal. A Phoenix can pick up a Disruptor. A Phoenix can straight up shoot a Colossus, even though it can't pick it up because a Colossus is so fucking tall that it gets shot by anti-air units like a Viking as well. You can kill every unit out of a Robo with a Phoenix. So, you need to focus fire Phoenixes, right? If you have Phoenix versus Phoenix, it's not really focus fire. It's about balling up your units. They will indirectly focus fire if you stack your units. You shouldn't focus fire. Because, for instance, you don't want... If you have 3 Phoenix in a line like this, you don't want Phoenix number 1 to shoot first, and then Phoenix number 2 shoots second, and Phoenix number 3 shoots third. And when Phoenix number 1 shoots twice, Phoenix number 3 shoots once. Because it's like an assembly line. You do not want that. You do not want that. You want all your Phoenix to shoot at the exact same time. So if you stack up your Phoenix, no matter where they go, they're all shooting at the same exact time, and they're all shooting whatever's closest to them, which means they're indirectly going to focus fire. So double Stargate would have been a great reaction to this. You would fuck this guy over if you went double Stargate. Going Council makes no sense. Going Council and double Stargate makes no sense. You should just cancel the Council. You shouldn't even made the Council in the first place. Also, you really need to shift command your probes. You've had probes sitting here for a while, repeatedly, multiple times. I don't like it. I don't like the charge upgrade. If you control the air with Phoenix, you will indirectly control the ground. There is only one unit on the ground. There's only one unit on the ground that you will get fucked up by if you go mass Phoenix. There's only one. That is an Archon. Because you cannot pick it up, and it AoEs you if you stack. So Archons are scary for Phoenix. But he doesn't even have tech to do that right now. And you know what Archons also fuck over? They fuck over Zealots. This guy could beat your entire build if he just makes a lot of Archons. If he just makes Archons, he counters both of your choices right now. Phoenix and Zealot both have the common denominator of Archon shits on them. So this is you know, this is not the also, you should just install C2. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying that. Obviously, you can get these problems are not that hard to fix. It's just like thinking about your choices and trying to rationalize what you're doing, right? But yeah, like your composition here is so fucking weak against Archon. So, but thank God he doesn't have it yet. He actually doesn't have access to go for Archon yet because he doesn't have a council. But if he does go into it, you're fucked. But if you just made more Phoenix, you would crush all of his choices right now. Because if he's gonna go Stalker plus Immortal plus Phoenix, you're gonna massively overpower his Phoenix. Because remember how I said if he would have 8 Phoenix and you would have 16? That's not even gonna be realistic either. If he also produces constantly out of double Gateway and a Robo, it would realistically be something along the lines of he'll have about 5 Phoenix or 6 Phoenix, and you have 16. So you will lose maybe 1, and he'll lose all of them. You might not even lose any. You should really need that fucking upgrade too. You have to get that upgrade. That upgrade is mandatory if you go Phoenix style at all ever. You have to get +1 weapons. And then it's not even just stopping at +1 weapons. While you get +1 weapons, you need to then, if you realize your opponent is not going to make Phoenix to counter you, you don't need range. You could just get away with making a fleet beacon when your upgrade's like halfway done, and then just for the purpose of going, or like maybe in like 2/3 of the way done, so you can get +2 weapons, and that's it. But if your opponent is also going Phoenix, like he is this game, you should also get Phoenix range, and then also go +2 weapons. And if you're going to go double Stargate Phoenix like this, honestly, I think you'd be better off if you actually went cannons. I'm dead serious. I think you would be better off if you just made a forge instead of this council, And you don't even have to go mass cannons. Just make like 1 cannon per mineral line. And like maybe like 2 cannons in front of your, like next to set your natural, like an extra 2 cannons next to your next set your third. Why is this important? What if your opponent went fucking Dark Templars? And you go for a Phoenix style like this. Now granted, you saw he went Stargate Robo, so he doesn't have, again, no access to Archons, no access to Council Tech. But hypothetically, if you do this against everybody, if your opponent does have a Council, and he just went DTs, you'd automatically die. Because you have no detection. So a Forge opens you up in a way defensively that's very powerful, because cannons are going to do way better than speedless zealots. They're going to do a lot of damage, and they're going to absorb damage, and you can pick up his army as he engages your cannons. And you can also engage a shield battery with overcharge as he engages your cannons and your Phoenix. And suddenly your army is so fucking strong defensively. And then also if he goes DTs, he walks DTs at your detection, and you just pick them up with Phoenix and kill them all. Dingles. Listen to me right now, okay? Listen to me right now. If you're going to go double Stargate Phoenix, go double Stargate Phoenix. And don't make Robo or Council. Double Stargate Phoenix is going to be all of your money. Do not make a Robo for an Observer. For now. Would be my recommendation. The reason why is because if you do go for a Robo and you do get Observers with your Robo, you're going to have downtime in your Stargates. When your Stargates also, if you're going double Stargate, you should be chrono boosting them like repeatedly over and over and over. And if you go for any other tech, like 200 gas into fucking charge lots, you're going to have downtime in your Stargates, most likely. And you're going to open yourself up to potentially dying to people that actually play efficient. Because here's the thing about Phoenix as well. You don't want to go mass Phoenix and then just fucking sit there either. You don't want to just sit there the whole time. You want to actually pressure him a little bit if you can. Especially if now you're reacting to 1 Stargate of your opponent and 2 Stargates for you. You want to be fucking attacking him now. If you don't ever attack him, why? You have more Phoenix than him. And Phoenix versus Phoenix that's in your advantage if you get rid of his Phoenix before the real fight even happens. That is so much in your advantage. And again, this is why I say this build's not recommended for Diamond players, because Diamond players don't have the best multitasking. Like, there's honestly, this is why it's so hard to teach people shit like this. There's only so much I can say that will actually help you, because you're not using the units properly. And you won't ever either until you get better at the game. And when I say until you get better at the game, it's not even like, oh, you just got Masters 3, now you can handle Phoenix. You need to be like 5,400 MMR to handle Phoenix, like properly. Your Protoss needs to be as good, if not maybe even better than my Protoss, to handle Phoenix properly. This unit is a unit that scales like shit if you just sit there with it. How many Phoenixes should I get before I attack? That answer changes based on what your opponent's doing. If your opponent was going for Stalkers, you could make like 3 and go attack him. And you could just pick off like 1 or 2 probes in his mirror line here and there and run away. If your opponent's going Phoenix as well, you need to be very careful because you need to make sure you have more than he does. If you don't know if you have more than he does, you got to be super careful. You really, at that point, it's not about how many Phoenix should I have to go attack. It's about, should I attack before I have Phoenix range or not? And the answer is no, you shouldn't. You should definitely not attack before you have that upgrade, because if you do and if you don't have it when you attack him and he does, if he can micro at all, he'll fucking kill you. There is a lot of complexity to this unit, is the point I'm trying to make here. It's not just like simply stated one thing solves all. You have to, this is a reactive unit. Phoenixes are units that are reactively used. Like the answer to how you use it changes based off of what your opponent does. And if you ever know you have a Phoenix advantage over your opponent, and your opponent also went Phoenix, 100% you should be attacking him. And you 100% have a Phoenix advantage. Right now you have 8, he has 5. Why do I know you have a Phoenix advantage? Because you have 2 Stargates and he has a Robo. The fact that you scouted that is how I know this. So the fact that you scouted is good. That's good. Okay, you're moving out. I like it. We'll see how you attack him in a second. But now, don't forget, you need to macro while you do this. You need to macro while you do this. And look at this. Fucking look at this, dude. He's making a Dark Shrine. This dude is getting all tech. That's why I was saying if you make a Forge, I think it would pair better. If you're going to go crazy Phoenix like this, if your opponent just randomly attacks you, Cannon Battery will help at just helping with the attack. And then Phoenix can pick up shit while he attacks you. If that happens to happen and he attacks you really early. If he goes DTs, you have Detection. You should eventually get a Robo. So keep in mind too, when I say shit like you should not make a Robo and you should not make Observers, that's not, I'm not saying that is what I mean the entire game. I have to sometimes clarify this kind of shit because I know it might sound confusing if you don't really understand that concept. I'm not saying don't make Council, don't make Robo, ever. I'm not saying that. I am not saying don't ever make it. What I am saying is don't rush it. Don't make it as a priority before anything's even happened in the game yet. Because your priority is Phoenix, and you should gain control with that first. Invest into that to gain control of the game, and then add in other techs. Once you have control with Phoenix. That is what I'm trying to say. So your Robo still, yes, you can still make a Robo and you can still make a Council. You just don't fucking prioritize it while you're trying to prioritize Phoenix. That's not how Phoenix builds work. Watch your production right now. Watch your money right now. Just keep tabs on this. Like we're gonna watch this twice, okay? We'll watch this twice. The second time we watch this, we'll watch how you micro. But the first time we watch it, literally stare at your production and stare at your money. Keep staring at your money and production. You're at 1,000 minerals. You're producing nothing. You're at 1,000 minerals. You're going higher and higher and higher. You are at 1,500 minerals. You're producing nothing. You're at 1,700, producing nothing. 1,900, producing nothing. 2,000, producing nothing. 2,100. You're going to produce right now because you're leaving his base. I guarantee within the next 3 seconds you'll produce something. 1, 2, 3. You just started making units again. This is why this build is not made for diamond players. Because you will not fucking multitask. People do. This is not just. It's not just Dingles. Dingles, I fucking love you, man. But everybody does this. This is everybody. This is why anybody who's like, ViBE, how do I do fucking really hard builds? And MMRs that can't handle it. This always happens. You don't multitask. If you don't multitask, this build is already invalid. Even Masters. Here's the thing. Get a Protoss who is 4,700 MMR and tell him to do this build to me. 4,600 MMR. Get a Protoss who is mid-Masters, like Masters 2, and tell him to do this build to me, and I will do whatever I want. I'm not going to tell him what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him scout for it, and I guarantee he'll play like this. He will not multitask. It is fucking actually harder than you think to multitask units like Mutalisk, Banshees, and Phoenix in StarCraft 2 that scale with your skill level, because the more active you are with them, the more damage they will deal. But also, the more damage you deal, the more active you are with these units, the harder it is the whole time to macro. Because if you look back at your base for 10 fucking seconds and then go right back to your Phoenix, suddenly you're like, oh shit, whoops, I just threw away half my Phoenix. Uh-oh. My bad, I flew over Widow Mines, or I flew over something that I shouldn't have flown over. I flew over like 20 Stalkers. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like I flew over 15 Hydralisk. These units are hard to use because they're fragile. And if you look away for too long, yes, they die. But if you're able to macro like this, if you're like harass, macro, harass, macro, harass, macro, harass. If you're able to like bounce it, like if you're like basically are able to macro what you need and the time it takes you for your Phoenix to go from right here to right here. Just this movement right here, just down one screen length from the main to the natural, and then you're gonna harass the natural. If you can macro whatever you need, like let's say you need to like make 4 pylons because you're gonna supply block soon. You're just like, pylon, I'm gonna back to my army. Suddenly you're like, cool, I just macroed. And then you can macro your actual production while you look at your army. Like you can go from like, if you hit like 1 move command right here, from right here to right there. Just literally that distance right there. From the top left of that box to the bottom right of that box. If you move command your Phoenix from that distance right there, while you do that, you could hit 4, make Phoenix, go back to 1, and now you're controlling Phoenix again. So when the time it takes them to travel, you just made 2 more Phoenix, and you go here. And now let's say you go from right here to here. Phoenix go from the bottom left to the top right. You make Phoenix, and now suddenly as they're crossing, you've made the Phoenix, and you reselect the Phoenix again with 1, and you control the Phoenix. You have to do that kind of shit to micro armies like this. And if you don't, then this build is honestly going to feel like shit all the time because you're putting yourself behind where you should be. And now you've totally, here's the thing too, is you just totally have left his base. And I would say why? Why? Like, you have the advantage. Why leave his base right now? And you know why you're leaving his... I can tell you why you're leaving his base right now. Logically, strategically, it makes literally 0 sense to leave his base right now. You invested into Phoenix, and you did fucking nothing with them, really. You just killed 11 probes, and you're done. And killing 11 probes when your opponent had 60 is... It's a little bit of a deal, but it's not the biggest deal. To be fair, also, you guys should both have more probes than you do right now. But killing 11 probes and that's it, and you just leave, that's not like, holy fuck, you just ended the game, right? It's not like that. But you invested into Mass Phoenix, so that's, like, definitely need to do a lot more than that. Look how many potential pickups you have. 1, 1, 1, almost 1, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 0. Add up all those numbers, I would say the number's probably around like 17 or 20. You probably have the ability to pick up 20 more units right now. You could do so much more damage. And also, he has Phoenix. And you have way more Phoenix. You could kill all of his Phoenix right now. You could literally run around his base over and over and over. And you could constantly circumvent his stalkers and force a fight with his Phoenix. All it takes is 1 miss micro by your opponent of like overcommitting the Phoenix just for 1 second. And then all your Phoenix just fly into his ass and kill all of his Phoenix. And you could eliminate all 6 of his Phoenix with your 13. And if you do that, if you kill his 6 Phoenix with your 13 and you just literally delete his Stargate tech, when he actually pushes you, when you have Mass Phoenix versus now Stalker, it is not even a problem anymore if he pushes you right after. Now you don't have to deal with the Phoenix. You can just straight up pick up Stalkers. Furthermore, if he doesn't push you, you could now keep flying in his base, and if he ever goes, half my Stalkers go this way, half my Stalkers go this way, or if you ever catch units like this, like look at this. He's got 12 or 11 Stalkers right here in a clump, and he's got 5 by themselves over here. You could pick up these 5 Stalkers, 1 Stalker every 2 seconds, and you could kill all 5 of these Stalkers and delete them with this mini Phoenix. And you could just delete his army over and over and over. The fact that you are not microing your army means you should not go Phoenix. This is not how you play Phoenix. I know it sounds like I'm intense right now. I always get this way whenever I watch someone do a build that I just massively disagree with. But yeah, this is not how you want to play Phoenix. Like, this is not, you're not utilizing them at all, essentially. Dingles, I love you, man, but you're missing the beat massively on this playstyle. And now you've gone back to a defensive sitting there posture. And now what's going to happen is I feel like he's going to do a Dark Templar attack on you, and he's going to fuck you over, and then he's going to kill you after that with his actual push because you have 0 detection. And you also, believe it or not, if you paid attention, you also just scouted he has Dark Templars. You have to pay attention to shit like that. And again, that's multitasking. Not only should you be macroing while you attack someone, you should be actively scouting them while you attack someone. Multitasking. There's a lot of shit involved with what you do. You make oracles? Why? That is the worst choice you could make. I understand oracles have revelation, but why make oracles right now? It makes no sense. You're making oracles for Templars. Exactly. Why? Like, why? Like, I don't want you to actually answer it. I just want you to think about it. Why would you ever make oracles over observers or cannons? At this point in the game now, here's the thing. Do you remember? Jesus Christ, I can't breathe. Do you remember earlier how I said... Dude, my body is like dying again. I always have like the most congested fucking lungs when I wake up. Do you remember how I said making a robo or making a council only fucks you over early game? Like it should not be your priority, but later on you totally could make them with your Phoenix. That is exactly what's happening now. You could totally add on another tech structure now. You want to know why? Look at your gas. Look at your production of your Stargates. You will look at what you're building to. You're also building a fleet beacon and a Templar Archives. You have plenty of gas now. 2 Stargates, realistically, will take up the majority of your gas if you're constantly chrono boosting them off of 2 bases. You are going on 4 bases now. You have plenty of gas to spare at this point. And you could do many things with it. You could add on charge lots now. You could add on, for the upgrade, you could add on Observer now with Robo. You could add on more Stargates now for even faster, more Phoenix production. You could do so many things with your gas now. It's not limited anymore. You're not going to stop building out of your Stargates to sacrifice it for something else and then go back into building your Stargates again. You're not going to let your Stargates have like 60% uptime or 70% uptime. It can still be 100% uptime while you add to it. So it makes sense now you could add something else to it. That's where that comes in. That's how that makes sense. However, you are still giving 0 priority to any type of detection, and at 9 minutes in a PvP, no matter what tech your opponent opened with, they could very realistically have DTs at this point. Secondly, you literally flew over a Dark Shrine. So that needs to be something you should be looking out for all the time. And it should be something, no matter what your opponent does, you should always prepare for the potential of Dark Templar by like 9 minutes, for instance. 9 minutes is pretty late in the game. Like you should definitely have some type of detection at this point. Like realistically, your Robo should go down probably like 7 minutes if you open up Double Stargate and you also see your opponent does not open Council. Because at 7 minutes, you want to know why 7 minutes is a good number? By 7 minutes, your third base should already be fully saturated. Like, and you could easily afford it. You could do it even faster if you have a really fast third. You could do it by 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes. And here's another thing too. If you play Phoenix style and you literally go mass Phoenix the entire game, you need spotters. You have to have a spotter. You have to have either a observer or a zealot, one or the other, in front of his base, like this, like a zealot right there, a zealot right there, and a zealot like right there, in case he mines this out. The reason why is because if you don't even know he's doing this, it's much harder to deal with if you just go, oh, it's at my base now. Imagine if you saw this push. Imagine if you saw this push. You know what you could do? You could fly at his army, and you could literally you could just do a fucking side swipe on his Phoenix right now. You could be like, cool, all the Phoenix kill Phoenix like in the snap of a finger. They kill Phoenix so fast. It is like a hard counter to itself. It's just who has more, and you clearly have more by a lot. He still has 6, or he has 7 now. You have 15. You will fucking crush his Phoenix count. So, if you killed all of his Phoenix, super easy peasy. You know what you could do then? You know what you could do then? If you killed all of his Phoenix, you could grab all of your ground units and you could attack him with your ground units. And it doesn't need to like kill his army with your ground units. It just needs to take damage. This is like a, imagine if this was like a fucking big sponge. Okay, it's SpongeBob SquarePants right here. It's a big fucking sponge. It's just going to absorb damage for your Phoenix. And now imagine if your Phoenix picked up his robo units and killed them first, which does the most damage here to your ground army, which will make your ground army last longer. And then you picked up stalkers one by one really fast at a rate you could kill them. With 15 Phoenix, you can kill stalkers about once every second. So 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Phoenix, stalker die, stalker die, stalker die, stalker. That's how fast you could, like once a second. Stalker's dead. Stalker's dead. Stalker's dead. Stalker's dead. That's super realistic. Like 2 attacks from 15 Phoenix, especially if you had a weapon upgrade, you would totally kill these stalkers in like 2 hits. And you could kill this whole army. You could totally kill this whole army doing that with what you've invested into so far. But the fact that you're blind to it, if you allow your ground army to die before your Phoenix even get back there, you will lose the game right now because your Phoenix will have no longer have a damage sponge, and they'll be fighting by themselves versus this whole army with just your Phoenix, which means while you're trying to kill his Phoenix, his stalkers are beating your ass. And while his stalkers beat your ass while you kill his Phoenix, you will lose so many Phoenix yourself that by the time you kill his Phoenix, you will not have enough to overpower the stalker. You will lose that fight over in the end when you try to pick up his stalkers. I feel like that's what's about to happen. And now your Phoenix are coming back. And your Phoenix are arriving right as your ground army's dead. And you picked up way too many fucking units at once. I know these are his pickups on your stalkers, but you just picked up a disruptor. You picked up 4 stalkers and you picked up 2 immortals. And you're focus firing the immortals. I would say it is fucking irrelevant now to pick up all of his robo units at this point because you let your entire ground army die. Now it changes. Why pick up his ground units? It is fucking pointless. What you should do now, in my opinion, is you should pick up his stalkers one by one as fast as you can and just disregard his Phoenix because they're currently busy lifting up your stalkers. Let them do that. Fuck it. Take advantage of the opportunity you have for like 3 seconds or 4 seconds to kill off like 4 stalkers. And then when his Phoenix come back, kill them really fast and then recommit to killing his stalkers. That's what you should have. You still probably would have, like, there's a chance you could have won the fight, but the fact that you don't have a weapon upgrade makes me feel like you probably would still lose. If you had weapon upgrades, you might win the fight. But you have no weapon upgrade on your Phoenix, so you'll probably still lose because it takes too long to kill stalkers. But officially what you've done is you've picked up his stalkers, and a stalker does less damage to a Phoenix than a Phoenix does. And now you are fighting his 7 Phoenix with 6 Phoenix of yourself. You are essentially fighting his Phoenix with a smaller amount than he has because he canceled all the pickups on your units and you're just leaving all your pickups on his. So you're actually going to lose your Phoenix to his Phoenix at this point now. Okay, now all the rest of your pickups are over, so you brought the rest over here. So now you will win the fight against his Phoenix again at least. But you've wasted so much time at the start of this fight to fuck up an immortal that didn't even die, to pick up a lot of his units like the disruptor and the stalkers over here that are still there. They're still alive. You don't really want to pick them up to disable them and then just drop them again. That's not the idea of the pickup. If you go mass Phoenix, you are picking units up to kill them, not to disable them. It only makes sense to pick up units to disable them the way he played it, which is stalker immortal focus with disruptor, and he just has a few Phoenix there because he's like, I want to disable stuff. So you will kill his Phoenix, but you will not kill his stalkers. You should not kill his stalkers. His units aren't even helping though, like half the time. Like, I feel like that, again, that's just one of those situations where that fight, you honestly should have lost that fight. But this is not, diamond games are not super indicative of, like, what is capable of the game. They just aren't. But he won ViBE Kappa. I know. Yeah. You should have lost that fight. I'll just throw that out there. If that was a better Protoss player, the way you set that up, you should be dead. I hope that makes sense, though. I hope that makes sense. You should have killed the robo units, which will kill your damage sponge really fast. If that was going to be part of your army. But because you engaged the fight after your ground army, your damage sponge was deleted, there was no reason to put an emphasis on the robo units of his, because now all of his air units, all of his anti-air units are all going to be hitting your Phoenix now and not hitting a damage sponge. I hope that concept makes sense. And those are things you have to react to on the moment, like in the moment. You have like literally 1 second to make these decisions for yourself. It changes rapidly in a game when you have an army that is like this. It requires proper execution. Okay, thank God you have cannons now. You did eventually make cannons. You made these super late. But, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you made them eventually. But now... Jesus. Let's go back. Let's go back and, now switch gears and talk about what you should be doing from here. This is what you should be doing. Number 1. Add something into your build. Any unit you want. That's not a Phoenix. You can keep making Phoenix, but add something like carriers. Good. That good shit. I didn't have production I have units on. So production of carriers. Good. I would say this though. If you're making carriers, why the fuck are you not making any weapon upgrades? You should be on like level 2 already, going on level 3 soon. And this thing should be getting chrono boosted a lot. If your goal is to go Phoenix into carrier, get weapon upgrades. That is a priority. Makes this army fucking 1,000 times better. Ah, Jesus, mate. Sorry, boys. I'm like falling apart. So, weapon upgrade, pretty big deal. Weapon upgrade is huge for air if you're gonna just fully go Sky Toss. Give me one second. My throat is so fucking blocked. Jesus. Okay. So, yeah. Weapon upgrade's good for air, right? It's just, I feel like that's common sense. It's just something that I feel like is an oversight. Definitely get air upgrades. Super good. Another thing is now at this point, you just took map control away from your opponent. Take a 4th base again. And take a 5th base while you're at it. Why? You have no fucking money anymore, dude. Like, you're running out of money. You are running out of money super fast. And a 4th is not going to cut it. You have such an oversaturated gas. Oversaturated mineral line. Oversaturated mineral line. Mineral line is mining out by the second. You need double expansion right now. 100%. This is not early in the game anymore. You're losing economy and you need to fix that. And you have control of the map right now, so take it. So, carriers, expand twice. Make cannons at those new expansions. Fucking perfect. Keep making carriers. That's what you should be doing macro-wise. Aggressive-wise, micro-wise, send these fucking Phoenix to his base. if you are going to go mass Phoenix and you're going to kill his army like that and you actually won the fight, get the fuck in his base again the second the fight's over. Why? Kill his probes. Fucking make him further deeper into a hole than he already is. And if you ever spot something like this, or they're DTs, so it's harder to spot that. But if you spot like Templar, if it was like High Templar, fucking pick them up and kill them while they're warping in. That's such a good trade. That's so juicy for Protoss. But kill anything you see that's effective. Kill the Disruptor. Kill any gateway units you see. Kill 6 Stalkers that are there or whatever. Yeah, it's literally, if you killed these, like if you were there right now, you could totally pick up these Stalkers one by one, and you could kill every one of them before these Archons are done. It takes 9 fucking seconds for it. If you saw this, if like you saw the Archon starting and then 6 Stalkers warp in, pick up the Stalkers. You could kill every Stalker here and not even get hit by an Archon. With how many Phoenix you still have. You can pick up units while it's being warped in? Yes, you can. It acts as a unit. And you want to know the crazy thing? If you pick up a unit while it's warping in, it has 0 armor upgrades. So I don't know if he doesn't have any anyways in the first place, but it literally counts as a 0/0 unit if you kill it while it's warping in. And you want to know something even better? See how it has 1 armor passively? That is also 0 while it's warping in. They're like paper when they warp in. They have no fucking armor at all, ever. But once they finish, they get their passive armor, and whatever upgrades they have apply at that point. So fucking totally pick up units while they warp in. It's such a juicy way to kill them. It's so easy to kill them. And you would only be able to kill maybe 2 Stalkers during the warp in, realistically, because the warp in's really fast for a Stalker. It is not actually 11 seconds. It's massively sped up because of the warp gate thing with the pylon gateway. But you could kill 2 for sure, and you could kill the other 4 while they're done. But you would kill them for sure. But like the Archon 9 second, that's real 9 seconds. You would totally kill all 6 Stalkers before they finished if your Phoenix were aggressive right now. If you were here. What if you weren't here? What if you were over here? He's got no fucking cannons. Kill the entire mineral line. What if you were here? He's got 1 cannon. Kill the entire mineral line. There's nothing to stop you from fucking him over with your Phoenix. And let's see your pickups again. 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, almost 1, but 0. By the time you get across the map, that would be 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. You have in total, I would say you're probably like 15 to 20 seconds away from another pickup on like 7 Phoenix. But you already also have like 6 or 7 pickups as it is. Like 6, I would say. I think I counted 6 ones. That's like 6 probes you could kill right now if you were there right now. And in like 15 seconds from now, you could kill another like 7 probes. Or Stalkers or whatever you want to kill. Just do damage with your Phoenix. Like, get in there and be fucking annoying. Kill anything you can. Killing like 10 probes. Look at the worker count right now. If you killed 10 probes, this dude would be down to 41. That would suck ass. Like, it would be so hard for him to deal with your carrier transition. Every single additional damage you deal is just better. Yeah, Revelation is overkill. Don't even make them. Don't even make oracles. Like, remember how I said Mass Phoenix? Remember how I said Mass Phoenix is like, to do it even properly, you'd have to be like 5400 MMR. Realistically, I'm dead serious. Adding in oracles to it now, bump that shit up 400 more. Someone who goes oracle as well with Skytoss with Phoenix heavy openers, you might as well be like a 5800 Protoss to make this to be able to actually do it properly. You're making this so complicated and you're not doing anything correctly with it. It's just not worth it. There's no need to have oracles right now. I know you said it earlier because you're like, well, you revelated the DT. It was redundant because you had cannon detection anyways at this point. Like thank God you did, because that's so much easier.
Oh, yeah. Trick or treat.
Yo, Wet Fartosis, thank you so much for the 1-year sub. Trick or treat. Trick or treat, dude. Here's a piece of candy. Put your hand out. There you go. I call it ViBE. ViBE. I made it myself. Good, your Phoenix are being aggressive. I like that. But imagine if you would have done it earlier. He would, first of all, if you did it earlier, he would not have attacked you because he would have been chasing your Phoenix around his base, and you would have done it before he had a bunch of fucking cannons. But the fact that you're doing it again after the attack, either way, is still correct. Like, you should always be aggressive with your Phoenix if you know he doesn't have Phoenix as well and more than you. The only time Phoenix should ever be defensive and like be safe and paranoid is when you think your opponent might have more than you do, and he'll just kill you if you approach his base, because he'll zone you and kill you. That's a problem. But if you know, hold on.
Hi ViBE. Can you show us most effective way to Oracle kill workers? My harass success.
Be Grandmaster League. First of all. Secondly, the way you would micro an Oracle... I'll just say this really fast because this is really deviating from what I'm talking about right now. Pangaricon, thank you so much for the 200 bits though. But if you want to Oracle harass, this is what you got to do, okay? If there's nothing in the mineral line, hostile, if there's nothing there, fly into the middle of the mineral line and just let your fucking Oracle go ham. Just kill everything. If there are hostile things in the mineral line though, a cannon, stalkers chasing you, whatever. If you approach it from this side, what you would do is you would fly like right here, up, with your beam on, okay? You would fly north away from what is hostily attacking you. You would fly from one end to the other of the middle line, so you kite whatever is chasing you. And you would go like this. Move command, attack a probe. Move command, kill the probe. Move command, attack a probe. Move command, kill the probe. It takes 2 hits for a probe to die. Move command, attack a probe. Move command, kill the probe. Move command, attack a probe. Move command, kill the probe, leave the base. That is how you would ideally micro your Oracle if you were having to kite and you were like wanting to not just sit there and suicide it, but you still wanted to kill like 5 probes and a drive-by. You have to have micro where you can not only continuously kite away from your opponent, but you can also focus fire the same probe you attack multiple times. You don't just attack randomly. Otherwise, you're going to hit different probes repeatedly because you're moving your location repeatedly. So you need to attack the same probe so you actually kill the probe. And you need to also understand the timing of when you do it. So number one, you don't lose momentum of the Oracle. You don't just leave it on attack for too long so the Oracle comes to a complete stop. You want the Oracle to literally be drifting the entire fucking time when it's attacking. So you attack and move quickly right after. And you want to also attack at the optimal time of its attack speed. So you also don't wait. If the Oracle's attack speed is 0.5 seconds, you don't wait until it's 0.61 exactly. You don't wait 1.3 and then attack again because you just wasted an entire attack at that point, plus a little bit more. You attack as close as you can to 0.61 as possible. But just know if you attack something and you attack it before 0.61, it will act as like a stop command. Your Oracle will literally come to a fucking stop because it only drifts when you actually fucking attack something. When it does the attack animation. But if you attack again before it drifts again, it means you're doing it way too fucking fast and it will not maintain momentum. And it will stop. Because you're not giving it a chance to move again. So mastering that movement and that timing of all that shit and that literally the mouse accuracy of focus firing the probes, that is how you have to micro that. And if you are not a high level Protoss player, good luck. It's one of those things again where if someone, if for instance, Pangaricon, if you were like Platinum League asking me this question or Diamond or something, you'll never execute it properly. It's one of those things that's cool that you could try. I'm not gonna say you can't try it. Go by all means, fucking try it, have fun, try it. But don't base your gameplay around that. Don't be like, well, I'm gonna get better because I'm gonna get good at that. No, that's something that will indirectly become a skill you'll obtain as you get better at everything. That is not something you should just focus on though. Like when you don't even have multitasking and macro, all that shit. But yeah, that's how what I just said, that is how you micro that. That is how you would micro that. But again, if you want to try it for fun, go for it. I don't want to discourage people from having fun, right? Have fun by all means. But you guys ask so many advanced questions. It's like basically, you know what it's like? It'd be like this. This is how I feel when I'm trying to teach people this shit. Imagine a kid who's in 2nd grade with a fucking like a Barney backpack on and a lunchbox, and he's got like his mom made him a lunch. And he walks into fucking like college, university, and he wants to know like some fucking advanced like course of like he's becoming a fucking lawyer or some shit. He's like, I'm here. He's like, I'm here to learn, and then he like fucking lunchbox falls out, and his little sandwich bag falls out on the floor, and his mom left a note in there that says, "I love you, Munchkin." And he picks it up. He's like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to eat this in 2 hours." And he puts it back in his lunchbox, and then he sits down next to people that are like 20 years old, and he's like fucking 9. That's what it's like when someone who's lower league is like, "Teach me how to fucking micro like a pro gamer." And I'm just like, guys, it's not gonna fucking happen. I'm sorry to say. You're like skipping all the steps if you want to play like that. Okay. Okay. Like, for instance, right there, I would ask, why would you run away? Now, I know, Dingles, I know I'm picking on you like fucking crazy, dude. I love you, man. I don't want you to get sad by anything I'm saying, but I'm just going to throw it out there and say this, okay? You're doing a very complicated build with your Phoenix, right? But everything is a judgment call. Everything you do when you're going Phoenix is a judgment call. You've done the same mistake multiple, like this is like the 4th time you've done this game. You leave 0 spotters on the map to spot when your opponent is going to push you, whether it be through observers or through zealots. Either one should be the thing. Right? So you're being surprised by the attack once again. You're like, oh fuck, he's attacking. Spotters are required to play like this. You have to use spotters. That way you can set up a plan before it's panic time. Secondly, your army is 6 carriers, 5 archons, and 11 zealots. Why would you run away from this? Your 6 Phoenix that have a total of like 3 pickups are not going to change the fight very much. Like picking up 3 stalkers is not going to change the fight very much. Because they're you've been harassing now, and you're pretty depleted on energy, and you've also thrown away most of your Phoenix at this point. Like you used to have 15, now you have 6. Now I don't mind that you lost a lot of your Phoenix because you did damage to him. You tried to harass him. You've so far killed a total of 39 probes. That is what I would say is that's kind of where you want it to go. You want to do damage with your Phoenix, but why would you run away from the stalkers and sacrifice a carrier in the process while you run away just to come over here to pick up and lose a Phoenix while you fly over his army? It's just like, it's all a mess right now. A second Phoenix died before you even picked it up, and finally the fight starts now, and you pick up 3 stalkers. You lost 2 Phoenix and a carrier to have an awkward engagement for the whole purpose of engaging at the same time so that you could pick up 3 stalkers. 2 Phoenix and a carrier dying are more value than 3 stalkers by a fucking mile. If you just would have A-moved him with your carrier Archon Zealot, you would have won the game. You would have crushed his army either way, and you would have maintained your carriers, which are what is actually important right now. Losing the carrier itself is like horrible. Like if you're gonna run away from someone, you also would have been better off having your zealots like charge into his stalkers just for a second and then running your zealots away too. You would have been better off losing like 4 zealots if you did that. Like let's say you charge into his stalkers just to block them for half a second and then you run away as well with those, which saves your carrier. That would have actually saved your carrier, and even if you lose like 4 zealots, that would have been a better trade for you than losing that carrier. That carrier is so much value right now because it's what's being upgraded, and it's so much stronger than everything else you have in your army right now. By a lot. You're trying to max them out. That's what your goal is going mass carrier. Also, if you're actually going to go for carriers like this, make more Stargates. You have 1,500 gas, and you have 3,000 minerals, and you have 2 Stargates still. 4 base economy. You should have like 4 star. But when you started going into carrier, you should have had like 4 Stargates. Because again, I would say the fact that if you're going Sky Toss, the fact that you're still only on 6 carriers by 15 minutes is really bad. You should be maxed on carriers at this point. You should have like 15 carriers or like 18 carriers. The only exception would be is if your base got like rampaged and you were just like, everything's dead. But check this out. Look at it. Remember what I said earlier? How I was like, you should double expand. Remember how I said that? Look at your fucking economy. 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 11 out of 2, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 10 out of 8, 3 out of 3, 7 out of 3, 24 out of 8, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 17 out of 16. Every base you have is oversaturated and inefficiently mining on your gas. Like, some of them are inefficiently mining gas, but every base you have is oversaturated by 1 probe, by 8 probes, by 20 probes, by 1 probe. If you had another base, that's a fully fucking saturated base right there, essentially. And then honestly, this base is also mining out. You should take another base as well. You should already have this base done or something. This base done, this base done. And you should be taking another base again. Like, you should be starting your next base after your 6th. So you should be starting a 7th base already. Because you're, again, if you have map control, why would you not do that? And you want to know why? It's because of multitasking. If someone ever has map control and they don't expand, it's because they don't have the multitasking to do it. And if you don't have the multitasking to do it, definitely do not do builds that are fucking demanding on multitasking like Mass Phoenix. Unless you want to make your life harder. Anyways, Dingles, you can still do this build if you want to, obviously. You're the boss, not me. If you even, Dingles, if you submit me another replay of you still going Mass Phoenix, I would totally, happily go over it. So I don't want to discourage you thinking that I'm just telling you never do this again. You can still do it again. I just want you to know, though, that you can't handle it right now. Like, you should. I'm like your doctor prescribing you to not fucking run on your legs after you just broke them all over the place. It's like, it's not the time to do it, dude. You need to build yourself up again. Build those fucking whatever. Like, don't do that. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your progression as a player in StarCraft. I prescribe you to not go for Phoenix builds. But if you want to, it's your choice. But yeah, Phoenix style, everything we talked about, keep in mind the core fundamental aspect of Phoenix is you have to be reactively aggressive all the time. You need to make judgment calls repeatedly as to what you want to do at that exact moment in time, where you should fight, because Phoenix can choose where to fight anywhere in the map because it's the fastest unit basically in the game. And with that being said, you need to be able to spot and see where things are going on, and you need to be able to multitask. You need to multitask. And this game, I'm going to tell you right now, was not the best multitasking. You can definitely improve on it, but yeah. It's going to be hard. I hope it helps, though. I hope what we just talked about helps. Phoenix style is fucking hard, dude. Just like Muta styles are hard, and just like Banshee openers for Terran are hard. Like, to be a good, effective player at them. Anyone can do them, but being effective at them is an entirely different story. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this made sense to some people. I hope my sickness was not overbearing. But thank you for hanging out. Good luck to anyone out there who's going to use these tidbits of information to yourself. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Until then, later, take it easy, and peace. Bye, guys.